Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Chakra Way Meditation Podcast. And today I have a returning guest, which is always lovely, especially when they request to come back. That makes me feel good. So, Bill Heinrich, very, very warm welcome back to the Chakra Way Podcast. Bill is a business coach. He has a little sort of moniker that is the Divine Purpose Guy, which I love. And Bill has lived a life, has some wisdom. So I have no idea what direction this conversation is going to go in, but we shall see. Welcome, Bill. Thanks for coming again.
Thank you. So nice to be here, Roseanne.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it was a couple of years ago that we spoke last.
hmm
Um, and so I'm interested to know what's developed, what's because if I think about myself 2 years ago, a lot has happened in that time.
hmm
A lot of growth, a lot of life. What's been going on for you? What's been cooking?
more clarity, um, and which has been really fascinating because it's taken me to a higher level of commitment. And I just the only thing I'm a business coach, but I never talk business with my clients. We only talk about energy,
Mm,
because that's all that's all there is in life is we are just energy. I mean, that's it. And when you understand that, you can live life with a different perspective, and you can do just wild things. We're focused on creating miracles, and I have people that hear that and go, oh, come on. It's like, well, a miracle is just an unexpected event with a positive outcome. That's all,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
And when you understand energy, that's the way we live, and those are the things that we do and really move our lives that way.
So
Um,
when you're coaching a business person and they've come to you and they know what you're about, they know that you're about energy, they know that but I don't know. I
well,
mean,
they don't know that. They don't know
okay,
that,
so
but
this is okay. That's what I was kind of getting at. So they don't know
yeah,
that. So they go, I've
yeah.
had, someone's told me Bill Heinrich's a really good business coach. I'm going to go see him. And then you show up and you go, we're not going to talk about business at all. I'm not going to talk marketing
hmm
strategies and branding and all that sort of stuff. We are going to talk about energy. Do some of them reach for the door handle? Do they, how
They
did,
run. They
yeah.
run. Yeah. Actually, I don't do that. Here's the first thing I do is I explain to them why they're meeting with me. They don't even know why.
Mm,
And we start getting clarity there. And here's what I tell them. It's like when I ask them why they're meeting with me, it's like, well, I'm having difficulty with my wife and our partner and this and okay. And I said, that's not why you're meeting with me. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, that's not the reason you're here. The reason you're here is because of how you feel about it. It's
mm,
not what's happening in your life. It's how you feel about what's happening in your life.
yeah. Yeah.
And they go, oh, so now we're on to energy, right?
Yeah.
And then the second thing is, I ask them this question, and I'll ask you this question. What is the greatest resource that you have, that I have, that anyone has, the most powerful resource we have? And most people don't know the answer to this.
I'm not sure. I'm struggling whether how you asking me that question, what the answer is going
What's
to
your greatest resource? Right.
my greatest
Your
reason
most powerful asset that you have.
is my individuality, myself, my power, uh my
It's
my
free,
meanness.
it's free will and choice.
Oh, okay. Well, that's my meanness, isn't it? As if
Yeah, I mean, in essence, you kind of answered it, but it's free will and choice, which most everybody's lost.
yeah,
They don't have it. They don't even understand that
yeah.
because they're brought up in a survival mode. And They don't, no, I've got this job. I have to keep this job because blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, 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 that's
Mm.
BS. You can
Yeah.
leave today.
Mm.
You're there by choice.
Mm.
And when, then I get into the energy between responsibility and accountability.
Mm.
And people don't know the difference between those. I tell them to pick one. Most people pick accountability. It's like, nope, accountability makes you a victim.
Yeah.
Accountability means you're giving your power to someone else. So
Yeah.
if you live with responsibility and free will and choice, your whole life will change instantly.
Mm. Yeah.
And the fascinating thing about being a business coach and not talking business is when somebody knows who they are, they don't need business advice. They know what to do,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's the same with in all walks of life, in everything, and I
Hmm.
think people do, they shy away from responsibility. They think, oh, if I've got responsibility and it all goes wrong, it's my fault. No, that's you're confusing responsibility with accountability. Actually, responsibility
Yeah.
is your ability to respond. And excuse me, but yes, I think I would like to have the ability to respond however I feel is right for me in that
Hmm.
moment. So, yes, responsibility is definitely where we want to be, embracing it and not shying away from it. Yeah, it's a really good point. I think we do confuse those two quite a lot, don't we? And
Oh,
we,
there's so many, yeah, there's so many things like that that I go in and show them.
yeah,
Um,
we don't have a choice
and it
as well. That's another really scary thing that you've just brought up. Like, so much of us think, oh, I don't have a choice. I've got to get this job. I've got to work X. I've got to,
it's not true.
yeah.
It's not true.
And then we get into the energy of though, but I ought, the shoulding of ourselves, the I ought to,
Right, right, right.
I, I feel like I
And
should look
then
after
we
my,
have a conversation about obligation,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And the fact that you're living with obligations that other people have given you. So
Hmm.
you're answering to other people. You don't even have yourself. Most people don't even know who they are. And I eventually take them into the energy of the chakras
Mm, good.
because that's what defines who you are, and that defines your life purpose for you. And one of the things that's, happened for me is like I'm able to do that energetic DNA for people. And what they find out is, there's seven chakras, there's seven distinct energies that flow through each of the chakras. Three of them are going to be predominant in people. But what happens is, I'm going to go off on a little tirade here, so hang with me. What
Go.
happens is, when we're born, we come into life with life lessons. There's 38 different life lessons paths. And then there's billions of combinations. And because we have life lessons, that means you're living life with a blindfold on, making decisions based on who you aren't, because you see life a certain way, but you live with an ignorance, with boundaries on ignorance that are imbecilic. I mean, it's just, we're just so stupid. You've got to put those boundaries down and be open minded to learn, because the more you learn, the more awareness you have, the more awareness you have, the more choices you have. But that's not the way, they come, we're born perfectly. I like to say, this perfect little angel comes out, they slap your ass, and everything goes downhill from there, right? It's all about survival from there.
Yeah.
Another mouth to feed, all those things. But because of the life lessons, you only see life with a certain perception. And because of the way the energy flows through you, your whole perception of life is mistaken because you're completely misaligned from who you are. And
Mm.
I've shown this, like I can literally change a person's life in 60 minutes, like boom, just like where they just sit there and agree with me. They're like, "Whoa, my God, you're right." And it's all energetic. They don't have the capacity to hold it, but they get it, right?
Mm,
Because
mm. Yeah, yeah.
it's too simple. Life is complicated, and what we do talking about energy and the universe is simple. That's the way it works. It's very simple. But I take them through that process and show them that because you have these blind spots, you keep running into the same, you can't even see the problems. and
Yeah.
you misinterpret them because of the energy that flows through your chakras, the seven different energies start at the root and go to the crown. And it starts with divine compassion, divine order, divine compassion, divine creation, divine order, divine healing energy, heart, authentic self-expression, throat, um, divine truth, third eye, and divine power, the crown chakra.
Mm.
And when you don't know what the energies are, what happens is they flow out in penalties. When you don't use it, you get penalized from the energy.
Okay.
And this is what causes people's life to be out of control. They're moving energetically. Life is just about energy. Like when you look in the mirror, that's not even you. That's a manifestation of your energy in that moment. That's all it is. We look different every day. Our life is in a constant state of change.
Mm.
And the day you die, what you see in the mirror stays here.
Yeah.
Your energy leaves.
And she goes,
And the
yes.
biggest mistake people make about their life purpose is they think it's what they do.
Yeah.
And that's totally wrong.
Yeah.
It's not about doing, it's about
Mm. Yeah.
who you're being energetically is what
Exactly.
it's about.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I'm asked about purpose and people say, I don't feel I've got a purpose, I don't know what my purpose is. I'm like, your purpose is just to be yourself, to be the most
To be
authentic version
authentic.
of yourself. And after that, everything else becomes clear. What I mean? I can quite easily say, my purpose was to become a yoga teacher and to become a teacher of the chakras and, some kind of guide in some way. Like maybe that was my purpose, but that's not my purpose. That's just who I am. I didn't
Mhm.
like it wasn't like I applied for a job. It's just like, no, this is what I really need to do. I just really, this is what I feel called to do. This feels right. And it's that
Mhm.
sense of rightness that we're looking for. And that sits within the intuition. And I've been recently delving into a little bit of a sort of different way of looking at the chakras. Obviously, the chakras are held within the subtle body, but looking at the koshas of the subtle body, the five layers of the subtle body.
Mhm.
And I find that a really interesting way because you can take these five layers and then insert them, or usually it's the first three and the bottom three chakras, insert them into the chakras to get an even better understanding because you've got the
Mhm.
physical, the energy, the mind, the intuition, and then the bliss sheath, the where peace exists. And whenever we get to touch that moment of pure joy, of pure knowing that something is absolutely aligned with where we want to be, then that for me is purpose, is finding
Mhm.
those moments. And it may be that you have to have a job, you have a job selling televisions or I don't know, whatever, and it just pays the bills. But at the weekends or in your spare time, you get to do whatever it is, sculpture or I don't know, messing around with crystals or any, writing or something
Mhm.
that actually does bring you that level of peace and bliss and calm. And that for me is when you found your purpose. And it's a difficult little one to navigate around the kind of the grimness of the 9 to 5 paying the bills, reality of life, politics, where on earth is this world going to? Like we have so much to distract us. Currently, there is a mountain of things that we can attach to if we wanted to be in a fearful place. We can really go there. So it's not difficult these days. But if we can find those moments of pure flow, of joy, of bliss within our bodies and within our minds, then we're finding purpose.
Well, and there's guideposts that go with it.
Yeah.
So, for instance, there's a whole language with purpose. And again, everybody's heard we aren't human doings, we're human beings.
Yeah.
And it's only about who you're being.
Mm,
That defines your energy.
mm,
And so when we look at the essences of what energy is, what purpose is, you know, we look at abundance, gratitude, love, all the woo-woo words that we hear, right? But but the truth about the woo-woo words is this, is they can't be described.
mm.
You can't describe love. It's not possible.
Many people have tried over the decades and centuries, but
It
yes.
it's not you can only be love, and then it manifests when you're being
Mm.
love. It
Yeah.
manifests a certain way. It may manifest in the birth of a baby. It may manifest in something with your partner. It could be, for me, I've experienced extreme, authentic, unconditional love when people are transitioning, where it's just this pure, and, it's just so powerful. But you can't describe it. You can't describe gratitude. You can't describe abundance because it shows up based
Different.
on who you're being.
Yeah.
And so these are the languages of love, and it's all about the internal.
Mm.
It's all about inside you. What's outside you is fear,
Mm.
and it's run by your head, which can only protect you.
Yeah. And that's what it's
And
designed.
that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything in the external, your head and your ego are there to protect you. And in order to be in fear, you must go to the past. It's the only way you can get in fear. Well, you get it in the future, but the future is just the past thrown out in front of you. But you have to go, you can't bring fear to the present moment. It's not possible. It's impossible. Your heart can't create fear. It can feel it, but it can't create it.
Mm.
It's not possible. Your heart can only create love.
Yeah. I'm having the stupid thought, which is, you're standing at the edge of a cliff, you feel fear. In that moment, you feel fear. But I suppose that's a fear of what would happen if you fell off the cliff, right? That's not actual fear in the moment.
It's physical,
It's
right? And we're
yeah.
talking about energetic. So
Mm.
if you're attacked or assaulted, that's a different fear.
The physical body informs so much of our emotional life. It holds so much. Our physical
Hmm.
body will tell us a lot. We use it, all of the senses.
Yeah.
All of the senses that come in, the touch, taste, see, we hear, all of those things come in our physical body. We can't escape from the fact that we are physical, we're here in our lovely cozy meat suits having this human existence. The body is our vehicle, but it also has so much to tell us, so much to teach us.
Hmm.
We hold so much of our history within our bodies, all our trauma,
Yes.
insecurities, all the da 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 da, everything is held within the body. So the physical body, the physical layer of the subtle body is a profoundly important one. And we're very quick to go, oh no, let's just go straight into the very center and the bliss sheath and all of the lovely stuff when it
Yeah.
comes to this sort of work. But we can't avoid, and I think that's where I sit, because I teach yoga and I am very much dealing with the physical person and their
Hmm.
physical body on a mat, trying to do something that they can't quite do or can't quite understand, or, you know, and this physical challenge throws up all of this mental stuff. And that's
Right.
really interesting. The first interesting thing is where the resistance is and why the resistance came there, because that's just the energy showing up in physical form. Um, but the mental resistance, the stories that we tell ourselves, the stories that people tell themselves on the mat is extraordinary. I'm always going around going, so what? Don't mean to be nosy, but what is your train of thought right now? And people will say, oh, I can't do this, or this is stupid, or I'm never going to be able to do the other. The I can always tell when someone's fallen down a negative hole with themselves. You just go, so
Mhm.
Why is that? Where did that one come from? Does that really? No, you're
Well,
no.
where it comes from is the physical body,
Yeah.
and it comes from old stories that are
Mm,
stored at a cellular level.
hmm
And what happens is they see something, hear something, they're using their five senses.
hmm
They're just the physical part. Gary Zukov in The Seat of the Soul talks about our five senses that we use in the physical. And then he talks about being a multisensory individual where you're connecting more energetically, you're connecting with your heart, your intuition. But what happens is these stories are stored there. You can't have an emotion without a story. So the
Yeah.
mind can't even make a choice until the emotion's been kicked off, starts the story, the mind goes into protection. So the key is, are they living their story from inside, or are they in the present moment writing a new story?
Mm,
Because none of the stories are true. The only thing in life that's true is how you feel. That's it.
mm.
Nothing else is true.
I mean, what comes up for me when you say all of that is this thing that you hear where you hear, well, I've heard this said many times, that the brain, there is a part of the brain that doesn't know if you're
Yeah,
running
it has.
a vision in your
The
head.
brain is really overrated.
Yeah. So the brain, you're having a visualization, say you're trying to manifest or whatever, or you're running a story in your head, and your brain doesn't know that that isn't actually happening, that it's just a story you're telling yourself, or it's reality, which is
Right.
why when we have these triggers, we set ourselves off into that same pattern, and all those same emotions come back, and we start feeling that thing, and you kind of reinforcing that negative energy within you, because your brain is kind of brilliant, but also it kind of and it disappoints me the fact that it can't tell the difference between
Yeah.
what you're dredging up from the past or imagining to what is actually reality in front of you. And then I suppose that then starts, to invite the question, well, what is real in the first place? But I don't
What's
know.
real is, well, what's real is how you feel
Yes.
and who you're being energetically. That's real.
But
What's happening?
if you're
Go
feeling
ahead.
a certain way, if you're feeling a certain way, if something's happened and you're feeling like angry again, like something's triggered you and you're like, oh, and you're angry once more, like you could say you're feeling angry. Yeah, people go, oh, I'm
Mhm.
feeling really angry. Something's happened, that's reminded me of that, and I've brought it all back up again. So my feelings are real. So you're saying that that reality is real, that feeling is real. So the past thing that's been reminded is real? No, it's not. It's in the past. It's just a dredged
It's
memory, isn't
it's that to me, see, in my world, that's exciting,
it? Okay.
right?
Right.
Right. Well, who wants to be angry?
Well, not many people, but some people do.
Yeah, some people do. That's all
Oh,
they know. But
okay.
so when that happens, that anger, if you'll follow it, is going to take you to a story that you tell yourself that isn't true any longer, that you can change like that. You
Mm,
can rewrite a new story. People don't, it's so, whether you think you're right or wrong, you're correct. It's real simple. So you can make up any story that you want. When you look at the universal laws, the first three universal laws are fixed. Everything's a vibration. Everything comes from nothing,
mhm.
and everything's in alignment or correspondence. So if you're angry, body, mind, emotions, everything's angry. But go to the second law, everything comes from nothing. That means you can create and write a new story in the moment and
Mm,
have it any way that you desire.
yeah.
And
Mm.
that's a fact.
But people
This
are
isn't
resistant
like,
to that. Do you not find people are resistant to that? They're like, no, this is my story. I'm hanging on to it.
well, the
Uh,
vast majority of people are just focused on getting to death safely,
mm, yeah.
just
Okay.
protecting themselves and, you know, yeah, my life is okay, and that's the way the vast majority of people live.
Mm.
Yet they're in this state of protection, and again, our ignorance, that our ignorance is it's laughable that we're so ignorant, right? It really, because when you have an open mind and you realize everyone's totally different.
Mm.
You and I are completely different. Our energies are different. You get to be who you are. And when I know me and I love me, there's nothing you can do to hurt me.
Mm.
Only I can hurt me.
Yeah.
So I don't live with those stories. When those stories come up, I go, boy, I'm going to change that. Like, that's amazing. And so as you focus on this and understand it more and more, you see your life change so quickly. It's crazy what happens when you do it, because you just sit there and go, I mean, I've got this young fellow, Ronnie, who's in one of my groups. He had no confidence, zero, when I met him. No confidence, very nice young man. And he said to me, in fact, I have an ad that I run, because he said to me after 2 sessions with me, he said, I've learned more from you in 2 hours than I learned in 50 therapy sessions.
Mm. That's nice to hear.
Because, well, because I work with energy.
Yeah.
And once he starts to understand his energy, and here's somebody that had no confidence a year ago, now he's written a book. He's a paid speaker going around to high schools, motivating kids, has landed the job of his life, literally the job of his life. Just got back his 30th birthday. He went to Dubai so he could see how wealth felt. He wanted to he wanted to feel it so he could integrate it in his life.
Oh wow, I
He
love
didn't
that.
want to he didn't yeah, he didn't want to see Ferrari. He wanted to feel it. And it's just amazing. And yesterday, he was in the group yesterday, and he's so funny. He's like, Bill, you're not going to believe what happens. It's like, okay, Ronnie, bring it on. What happened? He said, well, I know, like, I need a website, but I've got these other things going on, and I just don't know how to do it. And he said, I've been thinking about that. And yesterday, a relative of mine that I haven't talked to for a year called me and said, hey, I'm doing websites now, and I need to do one to get some practice in. Can I make one for you? Right?
Can I make it for you? I love that.
Free.
Yeah.
And like, but this is the way we live.
Yeah.
We create those things because we know the universe and everyone in it is conspiring to help me. And that's a powerful way to live. That's
Mm.
a powerful way to live. Nobody's against me. Everybody's for me.
Yeah.
Everything is for me.
It's a beautiful thing because when you believe that, that is exactly what happens. And it's the minute you
Yeah.
leave that doubt in that things start going tits up. It's a really interesting thing to observe. And, I observe it in my husband, who we're renovating a house at the moment. And when we wake up and we go, today's going to be a great day, guess what? We have a great day. Things go right.
Yeah.
And the minute a little cloud comes over, then it's like everything just goes wrong, or it's just frustrating or difficult or expensive. I mean, everything's expensive, but you know, it's a fascinating thing to observe, like, because I'm really in it right now, like really trying to focus on keeping the energy of our lives like really spinning high. And the minute a
Hmm.
little bit of, you know, dissension comes in, God, do I feel it? It's really clear.
Well,
Mm.
and the way the universe works, going back to accountability and responsibility,
Mm.
you have to demonstrate to the universe that you're energetically responsible,
Mm.
not intellectually,
Yeah,
energetically
yeah,
responsible.
exactly.
So, like, you used a word like everything's expensive now. No, it isn't. The
Uh-huh.
world's abundant,
Yeah.
right? I mean, every one of these things matters in the world that we create for ourselves, right? Like, as you know, I live in an RV, and I've decided I'm selling it. I have a for sale sign on the front of it, and I'm just creating the perfect buyer coming. I haven't had a chance to do anything with it. I've been too busy, but energetically, it's gone. I'm letting it go. And the first question people ask, really? So what are you going to do? And my answer is, I have no idea.
Mm.
It doesn't matter. What do you mean? It's like, oh, when the time comes, the answer will be there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I have, I've been doing some, um, I've been picking up some characteristics and essences of what environment I'm going to be in and how
Mhm.
it's going to feel. And that's
Mm.
all that matters,
Yeah,
right? So what other than that, what it looks like and everything won't matter because
yeah.
if as long as it feels that way, it's going to be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's exactly how I am with the with our renovation. Like I know exactly how I want it to feel. No idea how
Right.
it's gonna look. I mean, I know what the house looks like, obviously, but I don't know what decor and colors and all the fine details. Oh, I can't even begin to think about it right now. But I know how it's gonna feel, and that's the end goal. That's all we care about. So, listen, Bill, I'm interested to ask you because I know that people be listening to this and they go, I need a bit of this in my life. I understand conceptually, intellectually, I hear what he's saying. I understand that energy is everything but how? How do I do it? So what tools do you use? What sort of do you have like an instruction manual for people to get there
Well,
in quick?
I, you know, it, yes, I do. I have a book on Amazon. It's called The Seven Levels of Truth.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And the seven levels of truth are the seven chakras
Mm,
that the energy flows through.
yeah.
And by reading that, they can see everything that I teach all my clients. If they're looking for something, um, first of all, I want to say this life isn't for everybody, right? Not everybody needs to do this or wants to do it, and which is okay. You get to live any way you want. If you like living in the physical, which is never, the physical will never be any more than a lack of clarity, hard work, and suffering. That's the best you're ever going to get from the physical.
Yeah.
If you want happiness and joy, you must understand the energetic or non-physical because it's the only way that it can be created.
Mm.
And but for those who want it, here's the place to start is stop being defensive because your head is always protecting you. Your mind is not your friend, it's your enemy. It's got very limited information and it's only going to work with the ego to protect you.
Yeah.
Your heart, on the other hand, is what's going to teach you about love. And the fascinating thing about love is the more you give, the more you get. It's the
Yes.
way it works.
Yeah.
Now, we all know how fear works. It's false information appearing real, is what fear is. And it's hallucinating, you know, and you're not in the present. Fear and your mind cannot come to the present moment. It's not possible.
Mm.
So if you're literally in the present moment and connecting with people, you're going to be coming from a place of love if you're totally, completely, authentically present, because that's all that can come to the present moment.
Mm.
So the first thing that I tell people is don't be defensive, because if you're defensive, that means you're protecting a story inside you. You're
Yeah.
looking at right or wrong.
Mm.
And that's the best place to start. Like anybody can say anything they want to me. They can call me anything. I don't care. I don't care what people think of me because
No.
today I know me and I love me and I'm just good with me, who I am in this moment. As perfect, imperfect, whatever I am in this moment, I know one thing for certain. I'm here to be of service to others from a place of love, regardless of the outcome. The
Mm.
outcome doesn't matter. I'm
Mm.
just here to give, and everything will take care of itself.
Yeah. I love
I'm
that.
not here. I used to be defensive. I have very low self-esteem. I mean, I could go into all of my character defects that caused the misery to have me walk. I was so miserable 30 years ago. I walked away, literally walked out the front door, walked out of a relationship, walked away from my life. I was just so miserable. I couldn't stand it anymore. And that's what led me on this path. And
Mm,
I've been researching and studying this now for over 30 years. And what I'm telling you is just that one piece about defensiveness, you can change your entire life
yeah.
instantly.
Yeah, no, I can completely see how that operates. That's a really powerful little nugget to have because you can feel defensiveness coming. I mean, I'm guilty of that. I can feel myself getting defensive, going, no, I didn't. Oh, whatever, defensive little shield you put up. You feel it coming. You feel it coming, don't you? And you've just got to stop it. But this is the thing that I was going to say is that everything that all the work that you and I do, like so for me with the chakras and energy, and you with your work, and which is essentially it's the same sort of energy work. The
Yeah,
key to everything is actually we do have to employ our silly little noggins. We do have to use our brain because it's learning so that we have awareness. It's awareness of all of this stuff, awareness of how our body feels, awareness of our emotions, awareness of how we're feeling, and the ability to go, oh, I'm feeling X, so therefore I need to I need to do something Y. I need to shift my energy. I need to, um, you know, but for me, it's always comes down to awareness and just
totally.
having that little chinks of information, just little moments of aha moments that just drop in. And the more and more and more and more that you have of these moments where you understand the chakras, you understand your energy, you understand the subtle body, you understand, I don't know, Reiki, whatever it is that makes you happy
Hmm.
energetically, once you connect with that and you go, yeah, it's irrefutable, can't be arguing with that, it's just real. That's when this magic can start to unfold. Am I right?
Exactly, where you can open your mind and learn something.
Mm.
Let me give you an extreme example. Okay, our president.
Okay, let's go there. Yeah.
Well, we aren't going to be there long, believe me, because it's crazy. But
Okay.
I am not in that camp at all.
Mm.
Yet the morning after the election, when he was elected, and I woke up, I went, wow, I've got a lot to learn because I completely missed seeing that whole thing happening, which meant I had my blinders on to what was really occurring.
Mm.
So I want to step in and learn why I'm just like I'm not don't behave in that manner, but I was stunned by the results that so many people supported that I couldn't even see it, you
Yeah.
know. So I've been paying attention to see, to see what it is because I can learn something. It isn't about being right or wrong, but
Mm.
it's just to have like this is a vast majority of the people. Here we had a woman running for president and he got more votes from women than she did. So I missed the whole ball of wax on that one,
Yeah. Okay, so you
which
you had a
doesn't
massive.
it doesn't make it doesn't make it right or wrong. I just want to understand more because there's something happening that I just missed. That's all, And
So
so
you
it
were
isn't like,
before, and you said this about blind spots, and actually I'm glad you brought that back up again because I wanted to ask you because yes, of course, we all have a blind spot. In plural, blind spots for sure. We all have blind spots. Um, but because they're blind spots, we can't see them. How do we find them? Like you're working hard on this. You've got a blind spot, you can't see it, and then it comes back. That story comes back. That belief, that whatever, that
the
value.
only the only accurate way you can find it is based on how you feel.
Mm, yeah. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Your mind can't take you there.
Mm,
Your mind is going to tell you it's okay. But it's like when I said, when clients sit down with me, it's like, no, you're here because of how you feel about those things.
mm.
because you're not complaining about other things you feel good about. Yet I'll
Mm,
guarantee you, you have just as much trouble in those areas. You just don't see it.
mm, mm. Yeah.
It's your feeling and that energy. You talked about anger. That anger is going to take you to a story. Now, here's what's really simple. My question is just this: is that story supporting you today? Is that story allowing you to live a life of joy?
Mm, yeah.
Then take a look at the story honestly. And what you'll see is, number one, it's probably been there for decades.
Yeah.
Did it happen? Yes. Are you going to live that out the rest of your life, or do you want to change? You, you had the experience for a reason. Let's come from a place of love and we'll find out why and how that's
Mm,
going to benefit other people. All the misery that I suffered in my life up until the age of about 40, literally, it was nuts. I am so thankful for every bit of it because
yeah.
there's nothing that you can speak to me about that I can't have tremendous empathy with you on and help you change your direction as far as those things are concerned, because I'm so familiar with them. Without having those experiences, I'd have the intellectual, but it wouldn't be in my heart. That's
Mm,
why I'm so committed to what I do. And
yeah.
believe me, people just don't understand what I do. It's woo woo, it's this, it's that. They don't understand it. But the people that work with me,
I get
the
it.
irony is, like I have 5 clients, individual clients right now. They've all been with me for more than 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Think
Yeah.
about it. We meet every week. I just met with 2 of them this morning. 7 years.
That's
They'll
nuts.
probably be with me until I die because they've got the foundation of energy, and now we're in expansion.
Mm, yeah, and that's
And
infinite. So, that could keep going as long as you can, essentially.
as long as we feed it properly, yeah, it's
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah, it is. It is. And yeah, I mean that there was something you said that I was going to pick up on and then I got distracted by something. No, never mind. It is what it is. Yeah. I think that you're I think what I'm sort of twisting myself around is like I know what it was now. It's come back to me. This sense of like your feelings are the only true thing, the only authentic thing are your feelings. Like I have come across people, and I think probably if I'm honest with myself, I was something like this of, several many years ago. I couldn't even name how I was feeling. I didn't know how I
Right.
was I didn't, and I think this is a common thing that people
Yes.
are, they're not, if their upbringing and the language that was used around them and what was appropriate to express and blah, 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 all of that kind of stuff, um, can really limit your ability to actually go, do you know what? I'm feeling a little bit fill in the blank today, a little bit dissatisfied today, a little bit anxious today, a little bit, there's a million different words that can be used to describe your feelings, but I didn't have any of them. I had maybe five, happy, sad,
I
angry.
I didn't have 5. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm being generous to myself just, because I'm being nice to me. But yeah, how do we face up with that with people who when we have a
If if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired,
mm,
you have to understand that you're creating your life. And if you at least have the desire to change it and follow it just based on how you feel, that you don't feel good,
mm, mm, yeah.
you can't ask a question that you won't get the answer to.
Mm,
You just have to ask the question and your life will start opening up from that standpoint.
mm,
No, it's a story. You're living a story. This is why defensiveness, people protect their story,
yeah.
because they're measuring themselves. Whatever you judge, you are. That's
Mm,
you. The world's
yeah.
a mirror. You
Mm,
see something you don't like, that's you.
Yeah. 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 If something irritates you in somebody else, that's just a mirror of
It's
a
just a mirror.
person.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, those people who wind you up, take a good long look at them because it's
I
really,
had, it's so funny. I had this client, this woman, uh, Diana in Cincinnati, Ohio, who's been in my group now, I don't know, 4 years, whatever. But the first time or second time she's in the group, we're talking, and it's like, so what's going on in your life that's, where do you have problems? What's irritating you? Oh, my husband. Really? I hear that a lot. Tell me about it. And she goes "Rah, rah, 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 rah," about her husband. And I said, wow. I said, all right, I want you to hang on to your chair because I'm going to tell you something. And she said, what's that? I said, that's you. And her eyes were as big as pancakes.
defensiveness
Like
to the core, I'm sure.
she almost fell on the floor, but she got it instantly.
Mm,
And now, you ask her if she's, oh, my marriage is fantastic. Like her whole life is fantastic now because everything she's so positive. It's hilarious. She's just positive. I mean,
yeah.
and doing things, she does taxes and she's in the middle of tax season now,
Mhm.
always, always in my group coaching calls, going out to speak in different places, has all these clients. I said to everybody in the group, this woman does taxes. Most people doing taxes right now don't have time to go to the bathroom,
Yeah, exactly.
right? And she's traveling and doing this because we can create anything we desire.
Yeah.
We're
I love
that powerful.
Thanks.
In essence, I think the Marianne William missive about our deepest fear is so remarkably true. You're familiar with that?
Yeah,
Our
yeah.
deepest fear is, you
No.
know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
No, no, you're absolutely, absolutely right. You're so inspiring, Bill. Thank you for coming back onto the podcast and spreading your
Oh, my pleasure.
energy. I mean, I feel like we didn't even, like we said before, no, we
We
were like,
didn't.
maybe we'll just sort of talk about the chakras a little bit. And then, yeah, but I mean, the thing is that we have, and the chakras just inform everything that we've talked about. That basic knowledge of understanding, really understanding your energy. For me, and it sounds to be like you as well, just always begins with the chakras. You have to understand the energy that lives within
Yeah.
the body. And then everything else after that sort of seems to just kind of slot into place. Yeah, it's a beautiful work, life's work that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Great opportunities.
Keep spreading the joy, the positivity, the love. That's all we can do. And I know that everybody who listens to this, that's all their aspiration in is as well. So yeah, together we are powerful. And the more of us that there are feeling this way and spreading this message, the better. So yeah, please share this podcast with everybody who you think would be or needs to hear this. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, I came across a podcast I'd done a couple of years ago with this woman, and it was really funny because I, she made comments at the beginning of it when she interviewed me, and she said, I have to tell you that this is not in my stratosphere, and I don't believe all of these things you're about to hear. However, I have to say, I heard so many profound things that this is the most exciting interview I've ever done
Hmm.
because you can't defeat pure truth. You can't. It,
Yeah.
it resonates at an energetic level with you. It doesn't come in intellectually.
Mm,
It's
mm.
energetic.
Yeah, exactly. So just know that. You don't even have to understand it. Just feel the energy, people.
Just feel it. Right. That's
Exactly.
your radar system.
Yeah, yeah, it works. It really does. Well, Bill, it's been a pleasure to hang out with you again. Thank you so much for coming on, and I'll see
Thank
you
you for
again.
having me. I really appreciate it.